Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Our Lady of Lourdes, 2222 Genesee Street, celebrating 100 years this year. We're going to talk about the Lourdes Parish. Also, they have a bazaar upcoming right around the corner. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to do that with Father Joe Salerno. He's the pastor at Lourdes, and it's good to see you, Father.
Good to be with you, Joe. Thank you.
100 years. Wow. I've been going there nowhere near 100 years, but a long time. It's a staple of the community.
In many ways, I think Lourdes is and has been for the past 100 years. It had humble beginnings in South Utica and has grown and flourished into a very vibrant community of faith.
Yeah. A big Irish community at Lourdes, yes?
Yes, especially in its founding stock, let's put it that way. Most of the parishioners back in 1919 joined with Father Collins, who was the first pastor, and were of Irish ancestry and heritage, and founded the parish of Our Lady of Lourdes. And today, while we have still very many parishioners, like the Kellys, who are members of the parish, there are many people from various ethnic backgrounds and groups, Italian American, Polish American, and our newest parishioners reflect the makeup of our city. Our people from Vietnam, our people from various countries in Africa, etc. So we're a very mixed community at this point.
The congregation it's a shared church, so to speak. I mean, because you're not only pastor at Lourdes, you're also pastor over at Our Lady of the Rosary.
Correct. So I took on that responsibility. I believe I'm starting my 4th year as pastor of both communities. So in technical language, we're called linked parishes. I'm pastor of both communities, and the pastoral staff serves both communities.
That's pretty big. I mean, you've got a big congregation at Lourdes, and now you've got you've had the one over on Burstone Road. You had 2 priests at Lourdes for a while. Now it's down to 1. Father Servatius has gone down to historic Old St. John's.
Father Tom Servatius, yes, was just asked by Bishop Cunningham, who will be retiring soon. In fact, this week he will be retiring. Asked if Bishop Cunningham asked Father Servatius if he would move to historical St. John's and become the pastor of the community there.
Yeah, how does that work when the bishop asks? Is it an ask, or is it something more than an ask?
Well, in this day and age, it's an ask, but it was always the policy of Bishop Cunningham, our present bishop, to always assign priests of the diocese to places where they would be comfortable, felt they could use their gifts and talents. He might ask them to consider something, but if you really did not feel comfortable going to a particular assignment, he usually honored that.
Yeah, and now we've got a new bishop in the diocese. In fact, he was in town just the other day for the Men in Black softball game, yes?
Yes, he was. This is Bishop Lucia, who will become our bishop as of August 8th. He officially will be ordained and installed as the bishop of our diocese, our 11th bishop. And he was here. He was here last Sunday for a vocation promotion event, and it was called the Men in Black softball game, where many of the younger priests, quote unquote, of our diocese, along with several of our seminarians, formed a softball team, and the bishop was on the team with them and played against the youth of Our Lady of Lourdes and Our Lady of the Rosary parish. And that's where I was. I was the water boy on the parish side.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to ask who won because I know who won. I read it in the bulletin.
Yeah.
But he got out there and played. He's a younger man.
He is. He's only in his mid-50s, which is relatively young for a bishop. But we welcome him and his youth and his eagerness to serve with open hearts.
And you were telling me before the show, this is an awakening for you, I guess. This is the first time you've had a bishop that is younger than you.
Absolutely, and that kind of puts life in perspective. that, yeah, I would be several years older than our new bishop.
Yeah. When were you ordained, Father?
I was ordained in 1980, so I'm in my 39th year of ministry in the diocese.
Mm-hmm. And if I recall correctly, you went to school in Canada?
I did my theological studies or my graduate work in Toronto. It's the University of St. Michael's College, which is right in the heart of downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I spent 4 years living and studying in Toronto. And previous to that, I did my undergraduate work in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And
But you're a Utica guy.
I'm a native of Utica. I was born here, was raised here for my elementary school years. Somehow had the courage to make a bold decision at a very early age to go to high school seminary, which was also in Chicago. And spent 4 years in high school and seminary, then moved on to a year of special study, did 4 years of undergraduate work in Chicago, and then moved to Toronto for my graduate work.
The parish that you were at before coming to Lourdes was?
St. Mary of Mount Carmel, now St. Mary of Mount Carmel Blessed Sacrament
Yeah.
Parish.
I just happened, this was ironic that this was the case, I just happened to be in East Utica on your last service at Mount Carmel.
Okay.
And I remember you saying to the congregation, don't follow over to Lourdes. Don't, I don't know if you used the word, don't chase a priest or don't go with the priest. This is your church. And I thought it was kind of
Sure.
interesting that you said that.
Well, and I meant that very, very much. And it's only because Mount Carmel is my home parish. And what I mean by that is that that's where I was baptized and introduced to the Catholic faith. It's where I received my first communion. It's where I was confirmed. It's where I was ordained to the priesthood. So to go there and serve as pastor was a unique privilege. But, you know, I took pride in the parish and who they were and what they had become, and I wanted them to remain there. In one sense, I wanted their blessing to send me forth, but I wanted them to remain there to continue to build that community, which soon will be celebrating its 125th anniversary.
Yeah. When we come back, we better talk about that bazaar.
Will do.
Father Joseph Salerno's our guest. They've got a bazaar upcoming at Our Lady of Lourdes. Short break, right back.